Hello, and welcome back to another Dynamic English live class. Happy Friday to everyone. Hope everyone is at home, staying safe, and you're well. So tonight's class in live is going to be a bit different. We've taken some of your questions that you've sent to us previously, and I'm going to do my best to answer as many of your questions as possible. But because this is a live question and answer class, we want to hear from you. So if you are watching, make sure to comment and any questions you have, whether it's pronunciation, whether it's a verb tense, hopefully I'm here to help. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes and let's see how many more people join our class. And while I do that, I just want to take a moment to remind everyone that here at Dynamic English, we are not just this YouTube channel. We offer classes online due to the pandemic in anywhere you want. So if you are interested in improving your English, be sure to contact us for classes. We also have a podcast called Coffee with Gringos on Spotify, Apple Music, basically anywhere you can find a podcast, Coffee with Gringos, we're there. And as well, our Instagram, Instagram's really popular with us. And additionally, I have to say that we have recently started a TikTok account. So if any of you out there are TikTokers, like me, make sure to go over and follow us. We're going to be giving you some short tutorials, some short corrections, pronunciation, things like that. Try to keep it engaging and fun and funny, hopefully. So, thank you. I see we've got over 20 people watching right now, so welcome. Happy Friday, guys. I'm going to get started with some of the questions that came to us before, all right? And one of the main questions, probably the biggest question for us was, when do we use the simple past versus the present perfect? Present perfect using have, has, or had. So I'm going to tell you. Basically, simple past is going to be used for actions that are finished. Definitive actions that are already finished. We know when they happened. So, for example, if I say to you, I went to Spain in 2008, okay? I give you a final time there. So, if I know the time, I'm going to say I went, okay? Now, if the time is not important, right, I'm going to use the participle, or the present perfect, and say, I have been to Spain. Notice there that I don't mention a specific time. You don't know when I went to Spain. You only know that I went to Spain. So this is a really common question, and I teach this in my classes, and I get this question, we get this question a lot. So I just want to take a moment and explain to you what the present perfect tense is. Okay? So I'm going to be reading from my tablet here. But the present perfect is used to indicate a link between the present, now, and the past. The time of the action before now, but not specified. And we're often more interested in the result. So as I said earlier, I went to Spain in 2008. That's a specific time. If I only say I have been to Spain, we're focused more on the result. That I went, that I have been in Spain, but you don't know when, okay? So that's one of the main points there. So I'm going to give you five different examples of when we use the present perfect and versus when we use the present simple. So the first, as I said, when the time period referred to is not known, is unspecified, or it's not important, right? Is it really important to know when I went to Spain, or just the fact that I went to Spain? You see? So, when we talk about a action that is we don't know the time of or it's not important, we're going to use the present perfect. Some other examples are when the time period has not finished. All right? So, if I say to you, I have worked a lot this week, which is true. I've been very busy this week. This week is not finished. Unfortunately, it's only Friday night, so this week is not finished. So if I get to next week, right, the next week, and I say, I worked very hard last week, that time is finished. Last week is over. But unfortunately, it's only Friday night, so we got a few more hours until the week is officially over. Yeah. So, if we're clear on those, when the time is not important or it's unknown, action started in the past and continuing to the present. So this week, I'll give you another example. 2020 has been a very difficult year for everyone, right? Because this year is not yet finished, I'm going to use the present perfect. Now, when we get to December 31st of this year, then I can use the simple past because that would indicate that it's finished. It's over with. So, on December 31st, we are all going to say 2020 was a terrible year. Okay? Hopefully not. Hopefully not terrible for everybody. Hopefully we're hanging in there. So action started in the past and continuing into the present. When the time period referred to has not finished. Also, actions repeated in an unspecified period between the past and now. So I'll give you an example. If I say to you, I have seen the movie Titanic 20 times. Well, you as the listener do not know when I watched Titanic. You only know that I have seen it 20 times. Probably more, actually. I've probably seen it 50 times. We all love Titanic. Good movie. When the precise time of the action is unimportant or unknown as well. Now, the other thing that I want to point out, and I'm going to go to my board, is that we're going to use the present perfect with the word just. Okay? Now, I don't want anybody to be confused because in English, just actually has 3 meanings. Okay? So just can mean recently. Just can mean short for justice, or in Spanish, justo. And just can mean only, or solo. Okay? In this context, when we use just with the present perfect, we're focused on the first one, recently. So recently completed actions. So if I say to you, I have just entered the class, or maybe you have just entered the class, means recently, right? You're still in the class, hopefully. Hopefully you're still here. So with our present perfect, this word becomes very important, just, to mean something recently completed. It's probably not finished, right? Because whenever something is finished, we switch back to the simple past. I hope that answers your questions there. I'll go through these again. So if any of you at home are taking notes, I'll give you the 5 examples again. Now again, this is to answer the question from, I think we had 10 people ask this. When do you use the present simple versus the perfect? Okay? Or past perfect. Or present perfect, sorry. So the first one, actions started in the past and continuing to the present. They haven't lived here for years, and they still don't live here. That action is continuing. Maybe You have worked in the bank for 5 years. And if you still work there, then you would use the present perfect because that action is still continuing. Okay, second example was when the time period referred to has not finished. So, I have worked hard this week. This week is not finished, therefore I have to use the present perfect. Let's say, it has rained a lot this year. So because this year is not finished, I need to use the present perfect, right? Let's see. Actions repeated in an unspecified period between the past and now. So my Titanic example. Let's see. She has visited them frequently. Okay? We don't know when that happened. We only know that the action occurred. So we're more focused on the result. All right? Actions completed in the very recent past using just, so very recent, or when the precise time of the action is not important or it's not known. Okay? So I have been to Spain 3 times. So in that example, you don't know if I went to Spain in 2008, 2015, 2020. Who knows? You only know that I've been 3 times because the result is the most important thing. Okay? So that was the biggest question that we had. The other was, and I'm going to erase this, sorry. The other question that I wanted to focus on, because we get this a lot, very common question, is how do I know when to use a or an? And this is really simple. You can get this immediately. So if I say a or an, so my difference here is all about the word that's going to follow this, okay? So with a, I can say a chair, a computer, a light. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 lights on me right now, so I hope you guys can see me. A light. Okay, so we'll use that. We'll use that example. Now, notice that the word light starts with a consonant. All right? Now, if I'm talking about something that starts with a vowel, I will then switch to an. For example, an idea. Idea starts with the vowel I. Okay? An elephant. The word elephant starts with a vowel. Right? Elephant. So, when my word following my article, and we have 3 articles in English, a, an, and the. But to answer the question that came in earlier, the difference between a and an is when my following subject starts with a consonant, then I use an. If my subject starts, if my subject starts with a vowel, I use an. If my subject starts with a consonant, I'm going to use a. So, a map, a board, right? But an elephant, an idea, an apple, maybe. Yeah, so that's hope that answers that question, right? These are your 3 articles. These are the 2 that confuse most people. Pay attention to the first letter. If this is a vowel, then it's going to be an. All right. I'm going to take just a moment and answer some of your questions. I see these questions filling up over here, so I don't want to ignore anyone. I'm here. I can see your comments. So give me just a moment. Sorry, guys. If you're watching at home, hopefully you can ask your question in English. Some of you make short abbreviations and misspellings, and I don't know what you're asking me. I'm not sure what some of you are saying. I see hi everyone, hi. What is the TikTok account? The TikTok account is the same as this YouTube channel, Dynamic English. So everything that we do, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, we're on all of those, but just Dynamic English. So the same name that you have here on this YouTube channel, that's where you'll find us. The only exception, I think, is the podcast. And that podcast is called Coffee with Gringos, presented by Dynamic English. But if you're wanting to listen to the podcast, that's a different name. But yeah, we have very few followers on TikTok. We just started the TikTok account. But if you are on TikTok, get on there. We're gonna get some more content coming for you. Hopefully entertaining and informative. That's kind of our goal here. Hi, the fact. Okay. What about the actions in past that already finished? Describe using would. I would went to his house. How is it different from past simple? Sebastian Hernandez, to answer your question. We recently made a video on this same YouTube channel. I think last week it was up, about modal verbs. So when you're saying something with would, that verb is a modal verb, and it's not the same as the present perfect. Present perfect is typically used only for the 5 examples that I gave you. Those are the 5 times where we use present perfect. When we don't know the action, using just, when the action isn't important, right? But modal verbs are different because we don't conjugate those. They are used in connection with another verb, right? To express abilities or capabilities in the past. We use would also for polite questions. Would you like? Yeah. So we're kind of on 2 different things. And you won't combine would, so just in your example there, Sebastian, if you're talking about would, maybe like in the past, I would have liked to go to the concert, but it was canceled because of the pandemic. But I want you to know that I can't say I would went. You can say I would have gone to his house. But that's going to present a conditional there. Like if you had the opportunity, you would have, but it was not available. So if those modal verbs are something that are confusing you, I would definitely recommend going and watching the video that we posted last week, starring me, about modal verbs, because we're going to talk in that video about could, would, should, shall, I don't even know, all of the modal verbs. They're all there in one video. 15 minutes, I think you'll be good. I have been to. Okay, both of those are fine. Francisco Parraga. Yeah, I have been in Spain. I have been to Spain. But again, notice here that with that present perfect, and let me get my eraser. With the present perfect, you're going to be using have. The key with present perfect is have, has, or in the past, had. Okay? So the verb conjugates the same as if it were just the verb alone. But in this case, you're going to say, I have been, she has been, she, he, or it, and I had been. Okay? So notice that my participle stays the same. And I hope you guys can see that. I'm looking at my screen. Maybe it's a little difficult to see. But my participle is going to stay the same. With the present perfect, it's my have verb that's going to change, depending on what I'm talking about. Okay. Oscarina Hernandez. ¿En qué casos uso other and another? Okay, very good question. Other, basically translated in Spanish, is going to be otro. Yeah? In English, we use another to be uno más. Another, and another, and another. Uno más. But other is just to say other, that it's different from this. So good question, but don't be confused there. Other is otro. Another is otro más or uno más. Okay. Sebastian, when we use auxiliary verbs, in this case, would, the following verb would be in infinitive form, go. Yes, I would go to his house. Excellent. Thank you, Katarina. Yeah. I like this. You guys are interacting with each other. Nice. Okay. It's okay. I have just followed you on TikTok. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Francisco. For and since. Solo son para. Very good question. Angelica, I was just about to get to that. My last point on present perfect is that there are some key words that I want you to pay attention to with present perfect. We have some words that, yes, you are correct in that we are going to use these when we're asking typically interrogative questions with the present perfect. So let's see if I can write bigger, but those key words are ever, never, okay, so we'll start with these two, but typically it's a really common question using the present perfect. Have you ever been to Spain? Okay, so when someone asks, have you ever, they're asking in general, in your entire life, if you have ever done something, right? So yeah, ever is a key word. Keyword. Now, if you have not completed that, then you're going to use the word never. Never being the negative, or in Spanish, nunca. So, using present perfect, I would say, I have never been to Spain. I have never gone to Spain. I have never seen that film. Yeah? So these two right here, very key. Ever and never. Some other examples are going to be already. Okay? So, if someone asks me, would you like to have dinner? I might say, no, I have already eaten. All right? Now, in this case, notice that I put my have before the word already, then my participle of eaten. Okay? Key word there. Another key word that we use with the participle is going to be yet. All right? In Spanish, typically this translates to aún. All right? Normally, whenever we see yet with our present perfect, it's going to come at the end of the sentence, the end of the phrase. So, I haven't seen the movie yet. Okay? That's going to indicate that I have the intention to see the movie, but I haven't had time yet. All right? Maybe some of you, I haven't been to Spain yet. Right? Yeah, so notice how we use that there. And sorry I'm using Spain a lot, but I'm probably moving there next year. So, that's why I have Spain on the brain. So I hope that kind of answers that question about ever, never. Let me scroll back up. Sorry, you guys are leaving me a lot of comments here. Hold on. Let's see. What is the past of the future? Like when I was younger, I would go to the lake. Would is, I wouldn't say it's the past of the future. We use it to express an ability that we had in the past. So when I was younger, I would play all day long and never get tired. And now, I work 5 hours and I'm exhausted. So, let's see. What's the difference between de nada and bienvenue? I mean, you're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm not, John Sebastian Torres, I'm not sure I understand your question. What's the difference between de nada, just thank you, or yeah, you're welcome, sorry, and bienvenido? Okay, no, I understand your question. So, I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to go to answer John's question. So if we just say the word welcome, it's bienvenido. If we put the word your, you are welcome, then it becomes de nada. You're welcome, de nada. But so only the word welcome, you probably see that on a mat, on maybe your doorstep or your neighbor's house. It means bienvenido. So when we place the your, it's going to change the meaning to de nada. Yeah, but just the word welcome, bienvenidos. Welcome to the class. Yeah. And you say muchas gracias, so I say you're welcome. Yeah. Okay, and what relation and relationship? Oof, good question. Normally we're going to follow the word relation with the preposition with. I'm in a relation with this person, or we are in a relationship. But used very similarly. I have a relation with this person, or I'm in a relationship with that person. So no real big difference there. A big hug for you. Oh, thank you. A big hug for you. I wish, guys. I miss people so much. I really do. And I like to hug. I'm a hugging type of person. And I haven't been able to hug my friends in months. So a big hug for you as well. Thank you. Oscarina Hernandez. Have Anna and Kathy gone shopping, or did Anna and Kathy go shopping? So, good question there, Kiara. So your example, have Anna and Katie gone shopping? So let's just say that I arrived to my friend's house and I say, oh, Anna and Katie are not here. Have they gone shopping? I would use that if the action is not finished. If maybe they are currently still shopping. I could also ask, did they? Did they go shopping? But typically if I'm going to respond with that, if I use did, it's going to be after the action. Oh, did they go shopping? Oh, okay. And it's going to mean that action was finished. They're finished shopping. They're done. Let's see. When do you use to be or do does? Eduardo Jose, when to be is the verb ser or estar, and do does we use as an auxiliary verb and as the verb hacer. So as a verb, there's no connection between to be or do. Now, you might be asking do does as an auxiliary. So when I use do as an auxiliary verb, I'm not using it as hacer. Usually I'm using it to form a question. What do you do? Okay. What do you like? So if you're literally trying to translate that, that's not going to translate. Typically, do is used as an auxiliary. Okay. So if I say, what do you do? I'm asking, what is your job? Okay, so I use do twice. The first as an auxiliary, the second as the verb hacer. Okay. And then to be is just ser o estar in Spanish. And keep that in mind, guys. The verb to be is very important in English. We use it for everything. I am, you are, he is, she is, they are. We only have the one verb. So if you're a native Spanish speaker, keep that in mind. Just compress ser and estar and know that it's one verb in English. Can you explain about negative statements, please? Maria Alba Gutierrez. I can explain about negative statements. I'm not sure what you're asking there with negative statements, but I will point out a very common mistake that I hear with negative statements. And kind of to go back to Eduardo Jose's question, let me point out the difference between don't or didn't in the past, okay, and the word not, okay? Because I often hear Spanish speakers say something like, I not like. No, I not like wine. Who doesn't like wine? Really? This is, however, is going to be incorrect. I cannot put the word not in front of an infinitive verb. I can say I don't like in general, in present, or I didn't like. Maybe the movie, right? I didn't like the movie. But I want to point out that you're not going to use the word not, okay, before a verb. So maybe that's your question, Maria Alba. Let me know, clarify in the comments. But if we're using negatives, don't and didn't. We can also use in the present doesn't. So if it's he, she, it, doesn't like, for example, she doesn't like cats. But I can't say she not like cats. That would be incorrect. Okay, Christian, hi. For questions he, she, it not related with present, the verb goes with S at the end. Will he work? No, not necessarily. Sorry, I'm seeing... okay, I can't say, will he works today? No. In an affirmative, and maybe this is what you're talking about. In an affirmative, yes, he, she, it is going to end with S. So let's say he works, she reads, it walks. Okay? So in this case, all of those are going to end in S. Now, if I change that to a negative, and I use don't, or didn't, or doesn't, then I would remove that S. He doesn't work, she doesn't read, I didn't walk, So don't for I don't, you don't, we don't, they don't. Doesn't for he, she, it. Didn't. It didn't like. She didn't like. He didn't like. He didn't work. He didn't read. He didn't walk. Because remember, guys, in the past, everyone is equal. In English, the past tense, we're all the same. There is no other conjugation. So for the negative, didn't. Yeah, good questions. And I hope I'm answering your questions. I hope this is what you mean. Thanks for making the effort and time to make a killer video every week. Just wondering if you'd explain how and to use the word good question. And I know it's just the difference between one letter. Alex Medina, and thank you for appreciating the videos. We really try. It takes a lot of effort, guys. This is not easy. And the videos that you see that are produced with the graphics and all of those things, sometimes we work 6 hours on those, plus the post editing. So it's a lot of work. But I'm going to try and answer your question here, Alex. Explain the word specially and especially. Man, that's a good question. Especially is like especialmente. That's how we would translate that to Spanish. Normally, if we use the word special or specially, it's referring to a specific quality. But I'm actually going to pull up my notes because I have a file on this. But it really kind of depends on your context. Yeah? So let me take a look here. Okay, hold on. So while I'm accessing this file, I see another question. Sorry, Jesse, my bad. I wasn't clear enough. I was asking about the use of would that is similar to used to express habits in the past. I was not asking about would as a modal verb, but it's the same thing. If we would do something or we used to do something, we can use those interchangeably. Yeah. I used to play all day as a child, or I would play all day as a child. So notice that both of those express an ability in the past. At this point in my life, I do not have the ability to play all day. I have to work. I have a job. right? I have meetings, things to do. So to answer your question, Sebastian, you can use those interchangeably. Would is going to be a little more formal, used to, more common in speech. As I said from my notes. So I'm just going to read from my notes to answer Alex's question. Basically, the meanings of the adjectives special and especially are more or less the same. They both mean different and more than usual. So this is a matter of special importance, or this matter is especially important. So see, it really just depends on the phrasing and how I'm going to use those. Special is absolutely more common than specially. All right. So I hope that's answering your questions. Thanks so much. Cuando usamos, thanks, teacher. One second. It's about neither, no, or not. That's your question, Maria. So neither or neither, you can pronounce it either way, is going to be ninguno de los dos. So maybe you have two options, but when we use neither or neither, you're going to be selecting, or not selecting in this case, between two things. No is just no, right? And not is going to express the inability, and often used with can. So again, if you go to our modal verb video, maybe that not is going to explain some more, because normally we're going to use that with the verb can to express an inability. I cannot, right? She cannot. You cannot. Typically just means something is off limits or prohibited. Let's see. ¿Cuándo se puede usar un verbo? Okay. Let's see. Otro verbo. Actually, if you go to this same channel, we have a video about when we use the gerund versus the infinitive. So I kind of want to get to some more questions, but I highly recommend that you go and check out the video from 2 weeks ago. So if you go back to our list of videos, you'll see gerendo contra infinitivo, because we did an entire class just over that. So if that's something that's confusing you, it's too many rules to go into right now. So I definitely recommend that you go watch that. Angelica Vivas. Because we have a whole video just about gerund versus infinitive. Tengo una duda, es que hay un phrasal verb que me confunde, es get back, come back y go back. Los tres significan volver, pero ¿cuál es su diferencia? No. So Maria, they don't all mean the same thing. I'll take the first one, get back. Okay, yeah, I see where you're saying there, yeah. Because in the past you could say, I got back to my house. I came back to my house. So I could use those two as volver. Now, one thing I want to point out, and we're going to be making more videos on this, and we have more videos on this, phrasal verbs oftentimes have more than one meaning. So for example, the phrasal verb make up has 5 different meanings, and it all depends on the context. So pay attention. If I say, get back, it means cuidado, it means move away from there. There's something, you're in danger, okay? Now, if I say I need to get back to my house before 8 p.m. or before 6 p.m. so I can do a YouTube live class, then I would say I need to return. I need to volver, okay? And come back as well, yeah? But I want you to pay attention here. If I say to you, no, come back, I'm telling you to return to the class or return to my apartment maybe. And if I used it in the context of I need to come back to my house before a certain time, I would also be saying volver. Now, go back is a bit different, and that means volver por atrás, okay? So if I'm going to go back somewhere, so maybe I will go back, I'm going to go back to Spain. I'm going to volver. I'm going to return there. But I would not say I need to go back. Well, no, actually, I guess you could. I need to go back home before 5. I have a curfew. We have to go back home before 10 right now. We are all in a curfew. But notice that it depends on the context with phrasal verbs. But yeah, good question, Maria. And yeah, now that I think about it, you are right. In one case, they can all mean volver, but again, depends on the context. I'm sorry, guys, I don't have a black marker. Nori, I would love, I can maybe move my camera, move this computer a little further up, and maybe you'll be able to see the board a little easier. Yeah, unfortunately, this pink, this is the darkest I have. So I will work on getting a black marker. I have been the shopping center twice. Is it okay? You can say that, Kiara. You would just need to include the preposition to, because the shopping center is a destination. So I'm going to need to say, I have been to the shopping center twice today. And because today is not finished, correct. Now, if you talk about this tomorrow, then you would say, I went to the shopping center yesterday twice. I went twice. So you're going to use that simple past. But because today is not finished, yeah, perfect. Just include the to. Remember that. Anytime we have a destination, whether it's to Spain, to the supermarket, to the clinic, to the hospital, it's a destination, so we're going to use to. Oh no, I already read that one. Italian person is funny in the video. Thank you, Eduardo. Yeah, and guys, I know this class, I mean, I get to interact with you all, but in the recorded tutorials, we don't call those classes, but the other videos on YouTube, you get to see us act a little more, and especially with the phrasal verbs. I would recommend that you go and watch those videos. If phrasal verbs are something that's confusing you, you're going to be able to see those phrasal verbs in context. You're going to be able to see what situation they're used in. So I highly recommend that, because that's sort of a key that when you see it and you see the phrasal verb, you say, ah, okay, yeah. So thank you. I'm going to try and do as many accents as I can. Your way of explaining is amazing and easy to understand. Thanks. All right. Excellent. Well, thank you, Maria. Thank you. ¿Cuál es la diferencia en someone and somebody? Used very interchangeably. Someone is a little more specific, but they're essentially the same. Similar to everyone and everybody. Yeah? So they both mean alguna persona. Alguna persona, or if we say everyone, everybody, todas las personas, or cada persona. That's about the only difference. But essentially, you're saying the same thing. Alguna persona, or alguien, someone, y somebody, alguna persona. It's the same thing. So, yeah, no real difference there. I can spot the difference in meaning between bump into and run across. Are they synonyms? I'm sorry, guys. I live next to a fire station, as many of you know. So if you're hearing that, sorry. Bump into and run across. Are they synonyms? Not typically. So both are phrasal verbs, again, but to bump into can literally mean to bump into, like, oh, I bumped into the wall, okay? But you can also bump into a person. Now, typically we're going to use the phrasal verb run into. So if you encounter someone casually, so maybe you're just walking down the street and then, oh, hey, I know you. How are you? You run into that person. You can also bump into them. But typically we use bump into to mean something hit you. And run across, we're typically going to use run across for information. So I might say, I ran across an article on Facebook, and I think you should read it. It means I wasn't specifically looking for that thing, but I encountered it. I ran across it. Okay. Now, Don't be confused, because in another context, I could use the phrasal verb run across to say, I ran across the street, which literally means I corrí por el otro lado de la calle. Yeah? So it all depends on connotation and how we're using it. But typically run across, we're going to find, you're right in that you can, but we're not going to bump into information. We can run across information. Yeah. So I hope that answers that question. Thanks for answering my questions. Good job. Thanks for the class. Thank you, Jesse. Love your classes. Oh, thank you, Nuri. I've heard that it's something like meeting someone by chance. Exactly. Yeah, Francisco Parraga. But like I just said, we run into someone, or we can bump into someone. I bumped into my friend, or I ran into my old student last week. Yeah, I didn't know that they would be there, and hola, yeah, but not run across, yeah. Thank you. I don't know why there's a sad face. Kiara, it says thank you, sad face, heart. Oh, but why the sad face? Why the sad face? So kind of you. Yeah, no, thank you guys. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for sharing our videos. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, you should probably do that now. So I'm not seeing a lot more comments, so I'm just going to take a moment and again remind you that we have at least one video per week here on this channel covering wide ranges of things. Some of them are going to be live classes. Some of them are going to be produced. I think Bernadette will have a new video next week. So those of you out there who are missing Bernadette, she will be here. She'll be back. We also have our Instagram account, which I think most of you are probably following us on Instagram. We have those daily tutorials. We post something every day related to pronunciation, grammar, phrasal verbs, you name it. We're going to post vocabulary, anything that we can think of to help you improve your English and improve your vocabulary. So I highly recommend that if there is something that you want to see on our Instagram or our YouTube, be sure to go to our website, dynamicenglish.cl, leave us a comment, send us a message on Instagram, write to us on Facebook, go watch us on TikTok. I know TikTok is sort of a newer platform, and maybe some of you have downloaded it because of the quarantine. I know I did, and I'm a little bit addicted, let's just say. So go check us out on TikTok. We're going to start posting. We put 2 new videos up today, or Anais did. Really good stuff, and they're short, but you might learn something and have fun. So that's the idea. And I also just wanted to remind you guys, if you're having problems with listening, if you're wanting to improve conversation, that podcast, Coffee with Gringos, so good. I have just subscribed to Dynamics channel. Perfect. Francisco Parraga, all this time and you're just now subscribed. You've asked me so many questions, but thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I'm doing my English homework now and you're helping me so much. Thank you. Perfect. But Kiara, I saw your comment earlier and you said thank you with a tear. I want you to know that English does not have to be complicated. Yeah? Everybody should know that it's a process. It takes time. You're not going to learn English in 6 months. I don't care what institute tells you, oh, you're going to learn English in 3 months. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It takes time. It takes dedication, and you have to really want this, okay? So I always say to my students, you have to be curious. You have to be doing what you guys are doing and asking questions. Because if you don't ask questions, how are you going to learn? Really? You have to ask questions. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Yeah? One thing we deal with here at Dynamic is getting people to open up and to actually speak and to not be embarrassed. And that's what we're here for. So we want to answer your questions. We want to make you feel comfortable so that you start thinking in English instead of just translating words, because that's not how you learn a language. So, let me see. Teacher, tomorrow I'll be in an event on Zoom. It's called I have to say, that's another thing I will say that is really, really cool about Dynamic, is that normally once a month we offer an event to our students where the students get to interact with other teachers. I think now it's going to become more frequent because of the quarantine. So Francisco, what you just said there, I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Cards Against Humanity is my favorite game, and I'm not gonna be a part of that tomorrow. I have to work. I have other classes, so I will not be taking part, but have fun. And if anybody else is interested in doing what Francisco is gonna do tomorrow, and he's going to be able to play Cards Against Humanity with other native professors that we have here at Dynamic. And right now we have over 70, okay? So there's a big variety of teachers. Some are from England, some are from Australia. We have South Africa, Canada, the United States. I don't think we have any in New Zealand right now, but all from native English-speaking countries. So you're gonna get an opportunity to not only interact with other English speakers, but also to interact with other Spanish speakers learning English. So you're all gonna be around the same level, which is a good thing. And you get to play Cards Against Humanity, which is the best game ever, okay? So be sure, if you want to know about our future events, go to dynamicenglish.cl and sign up for our newsletter. So you'll be the first to receive notifications about our YouTube videos, our live classes, our events that you can sign up for and play. All really, really good practice. Yeah? So, Francisco, have fun, but really, I'm super jealous. Like, I want to play Cards Against Humanity, but unfortunately, I'll be busy. Oh, thank you, Sebastian. You encourage us to learn in a friendly, chill way. That's super cool. Thanks. Guys, you guys are super cool. But I know what it's like to learn a new language. I do. I speak Spanish, and I speak a little bit of French. So I've studied languages all my life. I know it's difficult. I know. But hopefully one day we can flip that switch and you will just begin to think in English. That's the idea. But thank you. Thank you for your comments. Yes, me too. How is it that? I don't know what you're asking. Yeah, I just reminded him to subscribe. I didn't even realize that I wasn't. Yeah. So guys, if you guys are not subscribed to this channel, click that little, it's a little bell icon, and you'll get the notifications, but also click that subscribe button. We love to see you guys subscribe. It's like our family is just getting bigger and bigger, and we love it. Yeah, you're right. There's no way to learn a language within a few months. Yeah, I would stress that again, guys. I don't know anybody that has learned an entire new language in 3 months. There are like 1,350,000 words in English. How are you going to learn over 1 million words in a month? Really? I'm sorry, impossible. Maybe it's possible for somebody. I don't know, but probably not. It's me again. Sorry for being a pain, but I forgot to ask the difference between it's important to me and important for me. No difference. No, it's important. If something is important, well, no, let me start that again. It's important to me and it's important for me. Typically, yeah, and there is a slight difference. If something is important to you, it's a subject you're interested in, it's something that is important. If something is important for you, just like in Spanish, we're going to use for, similar to para, meaning you're going to receive something, some benefit from it. Important to you, maybe you care about it a lot, but important for you, typically it's going to be a little more severe. You're going to receive something, you know? So, so maybe it is important. How would I say? Let me give you an example. It is important to me that you are learning English. It really is. As a teacher, I want to help you. It's important to me. I care about it. But it's important for me to do this class so that I get paid. Does that make sense? So I'm going to receive something. It's important for me. Teacher, I think it's not once a month because I was in another event 2 weeks ago. Francisco, that's what I said. Normally, in the past, before coronavirus, before quarantine, before work from home, we only did an event once a month. Now, we are doing them more frequently. So it might be every weekend, but we might start doing them every Saturday. I don't know. That's a decision that's out of my hands. But I think the events, and especially these Zoom roulettes and the Cards Against Humanity, they're filling up really fast. So that's where I advise, go and sign up for the newsletter so that you are the first to find out that we're having the event. Yeah? Because the newsletter goes out, I think, on Wednesdays. It won't be published until probably Thursday for the rest of the people. So if you want to be the first one to get the information, sign up for our newsletter. Just leave us your email. You'll get the newsletter. You'll get all the information. You have access to our blog. Our blog has so much information on it. So a lot of the questions that you ask me here, we will have in a blog post that will give you all of the rules, examples, everything you're going to need there. Yeah? Thank you, teacher. I hope I enjoy it. Francisco, I hope you enjoy it too. Cards Against Humanity, if you've never played, is so much fun. It's not politically correct sometimes, but you will definitely get some laughs out of it. You'll have fun, and you'll be able to practice your English in a casual, conversational way. So I highly recommend. Sign up for the newsletter. Yeah? dynamicenglish.cl. LOL, thanks, teacher. Coffee with Gringos is free. Florencia Molina, yes. Coffee with Gringos is available on Spotify, available on Apple Music. I can't even think what other platforms, but if there's a podcast there, it's there. So maybe look at Coffee with Gringos, presented by Dynamic English. You'll see our logo there. You'll see our little sign. And the guys over there, or I should say the guy and the girl at Coffee with Gringos, they do a great job. They're going to talk about every topic that you can even imagine. Topics that are controversial, topics like food, topics about culture, topics about Black Lives Matter. And I'm just going to remind everyone, once again, Black Lives Matter, period. So yeah, they're going to talk about all of those things. And it's free. It's free, maybe 15 minutes every episode. So if you're working from home and you want something to listen to, it's a really good way to just listen to two people, sometimes three. I've been on Coffee with Gringos a few times. And you're just going to hear a casual conversation about a topic. So really, really good way to practice your English. This is my second year learning English, but I'm very proud of myself because I can understand that what you explained to me in English. Excellent. Chiara, that's the idea. We don't expect you to speak perfectly from day one. It takes practice of listening and also imitating. Imitate the sounds that you hear. Repeat the sounds that you hear. It's going to help you a lot because you're going to be making that connection between the seeing the word, hearing the word, and speaking the word. There is a connection that happens in your brain. I promise. So keep doing what you're doing. That's excellent. Thank you so much. How much is Cards Against Humanity to play? Raquel, I honestly want to tell you that I think tomorrow's event is full. I don't think there's any more spaces available. And I don't know that we're charging yet. I think we might in the future, but I'm not sure about that. So Raquel, Eugenia, I recommend that you go sign up for the newsletter if you haven't, because the next event, you can be one of the first there. But I want to say that tomorrow's event is full, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have Instagram account different from the Dynamics? I do personally have an Instagram account, yes. I follow and like on Dynamics, so you can probably find me pretty easy through Dynamics Instagram. Yes, last one was about racism in the US. Yes, Raquel. So you see, typically the Coffee with Gringos podcast is going to be about current events. So you're going to be able to hear conversations about things happening in the United States, protests happening around the world, coronavirus, unfortunately. But they also have other topics. I know when I visited Coffee with Gringos, we spoke about gun violence. So it's a wide range of topics. They talk about Chilean food. They talk about the southern United States. There's so many topics they talk about, but they do a really good job. So I think you would really enjoy listening to it. The newest one, protests in the United States. Yeah, that as well. I think one of the good things about Coffee with Gringos is that during the podcast, it's all transcribed. So you can see what Paige and Ian are saying while you're listening to them, which is a good thing because we call those sight words, and you're identifying the word with the sound. And that's always a really good thing. Definitely really good for pronunciation. I have my space there. Okay, so Raquel, I guess you signed up for the event. You're so cute. Thanks for the class. Oh, thank you. I wish I could see you, Oscarina Hernandez. I'm sure you're really cute too. But don't be fooled. There's a lot of makeup on this face right now. I just joined your class. Perfect. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody has any question. I have a question, yeah. What's the difference between anyway and anyways? Well, anyway. Anyway. Yeah, anyway. No, there's no difference. The only difference is I would maybe say in any way possible, and any ways is typically used to say like, anyways, like filo, yeah, it's not important, yeah, anyways. Any way is going to be como cualquier forma posible, but you're going to follow anyway. Yeah, good question. Man, you guys are stumping me here. Because if I say, I don't like you anyway, or I didn't like you anyways, no, they're the same. Yes, what is Cards Humanity? Cards Against Humanity is a really interesting game where you are given a prompt. So it might say, Donald Trump's hair looks like. And then you have maybe 5 cards. One of them might say a fish. One of them might say a building. One of them might say, I don't know, a dead cat. And the idea is that you're going to pair whatever card you have that would best complete that phrase. And the person who has the title card will choose which response is best. And if your response of Donald Trump's hair looks like, and you put a dead cat, you're probably going to get the point. So you win that round. Yeah. So it's pairing a starting phrase with a finishing phrase. Typically, it's going to be not politically correct, but it's to see who can come up with the best response with the cards that you have. So there's a lot of cards. So you'll choose, I think, 7 cards. In this case, it will be digital. But you will get an option to complete that phrase with whatever you think is the funniest option. It's a really interesting game. It's so much fun. Trust me. Cards Against Humanity. I will say though, if you're actually thinking about buying a Cards Against Humanity set, they're expensive. So beware. But it's so much fun. And you can buy more cards to add to your collection, but really, really good. How can I join the event that you are going to do? Florencia, like I said, go to the newsletter, go to dynamicenglish.cl, send us an email and we can put you on our email list. That way you receive the newsletter and you're the first to know about our events. The newsletter people, the people who are subscribed to our newsletter, you all receive the notification one day before the general public. So that always gets you gets you to be first in line. And we're only going to send one email a week. We're not going to send you things every day and spam. No, it's one a week. Yeah. So don't be worried there. Well, always similar. Anyways. Anyway, yeah. If we use anyways, whatever. Yeah. Used very similar. But again, Catarina, Donoso, it depends on the tone. Depends on how I'm saying that. Thanks. Here in Argentina, we have HDP, has the same rules. Juan Ontiveros, I'm not sure what HDP is, but yeah, maybe. Cards Against Humanity. I don't know what that HDP stands for, but okay. Saludos y muchas gracias. Llevo 3 meses en Dynamic. Nice. Jose Manuel Prieto. Excellent. I hope you're enjoying it. All right. So, guys, I'm gone a little over an hour. I don't want to take up all of your night. I know it's Friday. Yes, you talked about guns in the U.S. Coffee with Gringos. Yes, I did, Nuri. Thank you. I think it's episode 55 that I was a guest on. And hopefully in the next few weeks, I'm going to do another appearance on Coffee with Gringos. So make sure to listen to that. But you can say the same. I got the question, which one sounds better? I already did that, or I did that already. Either one. Same thing. No difference there. So your prerogative, however you want to say it. So like I said, I've been a little over an hour here, so I don't want to take up all of your night. I know it's a Friday night. You have things to do, but I want to sincerely thank you for joining me here tonight. We'll probably do another Q&A in the future. So make sure that you're subscribing to our Instagram, because the questions that I started off with tonight all came from our Instagram account. So I wanted to make sure to clear that up. It's not really possible for us to have the comments here on YouTube before the video, before the live class. So leave us some comments on Instagram, send us an email. We welcome all of your comments. And let us know what you want to see. Yeah. So if you have some ideas, I saw one comment on here about indirect speech. I'm gonna take that and we're gonna work with that. So you guys let us know what you want. So again, I'm gonna say thank you for over 7,000 followers here on YouTube, over 71,000 on Instagram. I don't know how many Coffee with Gringos, how many listeners it has. And then we only have like 10 followers on TikTok because it's new. So if you guys do have a TikTok account, go over there, subscribe to us, follow us on TikTok. I'm going to start doing some TikTok videos. Anais, my coworker, she's on there right now. And maybe, hopefully, we can convince Bernadette to get on some TikTok, for those of you who are missing Bernadette. So from me, Anais, Bernadette, Ted, all of us here at Dynamic English, I hope you guys have a really good weekend. If you're still in quarantine, stay home, stay safe. We're going to get through this together. One last time, Black Lives Matter. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. So have a good weekend. Bye, guys.